where Pakistan stood in 2018 and what economic damage has been done to our economy since then. 2016-17 Pakistan economy was ranked 24th in the world. PricewaterhouseCoopers projected that Pakistan would join G20 by 2030. It pains me to share that we are ranked 47th global economy in the year 2022. It is something for all of us as Pakistani to reflect, ponder, deliberate, analyze, see the souling, and find out where we went wrong as a country. You may recall the JETRO, the world famous organization, before 2018 had rated Pakistan as the second choicest place for foreign direct investment. Today, foreign investment in the country stands at a historic low due to the poor governance and economic mismanagement of the last few years. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2018, Pakistan Stock Exchange market capitalization was over $100 billion, which almost matches your national external debt. With our poor performance of the last few years, the country's stock market capitalization has dropped to $26 billion. The loss of over $74 billion in the last few years. It was the same stock exchange which was ranked the best in South Asia and the 5th in the world. Today, we have been downgraded from emerging to frontier market already. It's something to worry about. From 2013 to 2018, the 5 budgets they presented, the per capita income of the country increased by $379 to $1,768 per capita from $1,389. Sadly, in the next 4 years, the increase in the per capita income was only $30. Ladies and gentlemen, over the 70-year period since its inception, the country public debt stock was 25 trillion. In the last 4 years, the debt stock has increased, almost doubled to 49 trillion. Again, another serious issue that we should be pondering as to debt sustainability of Pakistan. If you take the debt to public debt and liabilities, it was 30 trillion, just under 30 trillion in 2018. It has risen to 55 trillion in year 2022. As a consequence, this country, which used to have debt servicing of less than 2 trillion per annum, in fiscal year 2016-17 has risen to over 5 trillion. This is a major, again, it's a result, combination of inflation-led policy rate hike, which was 6.5% in 2018, went before COVID almost 13.75%, and then because of COVID came down globally, so we also had to follow the suit to around 7, and then it has gone back to almost 20%. So it's the spiral effect of what has gone wrong in this country over the last few years. I could go on and on and share a lot of data with you, facts, and I can challenge anybody to prove that any of the data is wrong. But instead of repeating all those, I think in the last few years we should see that, as I said, what mistakes on the economic front we have made, and we should try to correct those as soon as possible. The coalition government was handed over an economy last year which was completely in shambles. To top it, the previous government had agreed to a loan facility in 2019, which was extended finance facility with the IMF. Unfortunately, instead of honoring the sovereign commitments, they not only did not implement, but rather before leaving the office had reversed some of the conditionalities they had implemented earlier. Now this actually led to a serious trust deficit between development partners and Pakistan as a country. We realize that these obligations are not by any individuals or political party, but by sovereign state of Pakistan. We and my team decided that come what may, we will implement and we will discharge all the sovereign commitments which the previous government had made. One and only program which Pakistan completed in its history, even dictators era could not complete any IMF program. They used to run away. Pakistan was known as few tranche country. The most effective governments which used to claim, they also ran away from 8th or 9th review in its history. The one and only program which was completed for all 12 reviews successfully was 2013-16 program. So I think we owe this to this nation, that we show seriousness, we deliver, and we demonstrate to the world that we can honor the sovereign commitments, no matter who made those. So I and my team are absolutely committed to complete this program to the best of our ability. We have been in the process of 9th review. I think it has taken longer than it should have, in my opinion, because I have dealt with all the 12 reviews of the one and only completed program in Pakistan history. Anyway, we seem to be very close to be signing staff level agreement, hopefully inshallah in the next few days. Ladies and gentlemen, our economic difficulties compounded by the devastating floods of 2022, which affected 33 million people, caused physical and economic losses of around $30 billion. Despite the fiscal constraints and limitations the federal government has, the federal and provincial governments have jointly decided and have allocated $452 billion for relief and rehabilitation work of flood affectees. If need be, we together will provide more resources to support our brothers and sisters in need. You may recall that there has been a lot of work by UNDP, European Union, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, and assisted by the Planning Division. And they calculated that around $16 billion would be required for the reconstruction and rehabilitation work in the next few years. We, in the Geneva Pledge and the Geneva, the conference which was held for this purpose in January, we have already announced that half of that bill will be met by Pakistan from its own resources, which means almost $8 billion or more than 3,200 billion Pak rupees in the next few years. And we have made all the spade work, home work has been done, and luckily and alhamdulillah, we got much beyond the 50% which was envisaged to be pledged in the Geneva conference was committed and was announced. I'm sure you all would be aware of the detail which has already been made public. Ladies and gentlemen, these are challenging times, as I said, and everyone needs to make contribution to overcome these challenges. As they say, the work begins at home. So does austerity. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif has announced an impressive austerity package recently. The salient feature, I would like to remind few of the salient features: the complete ban on purchase of all vehicles till June 2024, complete ban on purchase of all new durables till June 2024, 15% cut on annualized basis in the current expenditure non-employee related of all ministries, divisions, attached departments and autonomous bodies. Luxury vehicles deployed with cabinet members be withdrawn and have been actually mostly withdrawn already. Cabinet members to to avail air travel both domestically and abroad in economy class and shall not stay in five-star hotels. So these are the few measures which have been decided under the leadership of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in a recent cabinet meeting. They have been already acted upon and implemented. Ministry of Finance has issued all the relevant notifications, and so did the Cabinet Division. The certain austerity measures required notification from the Cabinet Division, and certain measures required a notification by the Finance Division. So I happened to chair that meeting, and we decided, and those notifications are out and implemented and are actually effective as of today. Let me say that it is most unfortunate, in my opinion, that petty politics is still being played in our country's economy. The persistent spread of fake propaganda about Pakistan to default on its international financial obligations is completely ill-founded and mala fide, which harms the country's economy. People talk about chart of economy. It's nothing new in our economic history. When I presented the first budget in 2013, I also presented 3-year medium-term budgetary framework. When I presented the budget 2014, I presented the medium framework 2014-17 in 15-18, and every year I've been appealing to all political parties in the parliament to join together and sign chart of economy. Let the public and the nation be witness that what would be the economic roadmap, and there will be no politics with that roadmap. Unfortunately, it all fell on deaf ears and couldn't be achieved. I'm now hearing again, many people from different segments of society, including political parties, of talking chart of economy. Government would welcome it. I think this is something we should act apolitical, and we should do whatever best we can in the speediest manner in the interest of future economic history of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to draw your attention towards the fact that as principal accounting officers and heads of departments of the federal government, many of my friends, colleagues, federal secretaries sitting here, I'm addressing them. It is your prime responsibility to optimize revenue collection and observe discipline in spending public money. We are all trustees and ameen in these positions, whether you're principal accounting officer, whether you're minister or minister of state. We owe this accountability to the nation as well as to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I believe that you all are the arms and tools through which policies of the government can be best put in real practice. I urge you all to work diligently to enhance revenues, prioritize expenditures, and improve public service delivery and productivity. During the course of today's proceedings, please share your thoughts, suggestions, proposals as to how best we can chart our way forward towards economic stability on a fast track. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again extend my gratitude to our international development partners, which include obviously World Bank and the Asian Development Bank, whose nominees are here to represent their institutions. Their support has been instrumental in infrastructure and social sector development in this country and in bringing about necessary economic and structural reforms in Pakistan. I have been dealing with, for example, the Corporate Law Authority conversion to an autonomous body as Security Exchange Corporation of Pakistan. I dealt with them in 90s when I remember 1st of January 1999, from an extended arm of Ministry of Finance, it became an autonomous body in the country. So many structural reforms I can cite here which have been done with the support and program support of these institutions. So, we as country, we owe great thanks and we acknowledge their contribution in this domain. They have always been doing the hand-holding at the time of calamities and disasters. The latest example being last year floods. They came swiftly forward, and I think we all appreciate their contribution and their hand-holding, which they did very timely. They are our time-tested development partners, as I said, and I would especially like to mention that they provided government the fiscal space to deal with the COVID pandemic as well. So, envisaging the upcoming budgets to be responsive to gender needs, and I'm sure I see a good representation here, we would be gender needs and climate sensitive, and will make sure that needful is being done so that both genders are properly taken care of in this process. We will ensure that such measures are both effective and inclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, under the able guidance and leadership of Prime Minister Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, and with the support of our coalition partners, we are striving hard to revive the economy. Frankly speaking, before I took over the office from a distance, I didn't know how deep quagmire we as a country are in. Alhamdulillah, I have dealt with 98, 99, the worst economic sanctions on Pakistan, post-detonation. I have dealt with 2013-14 era, when, without knowing which political party will win the elections, it was predicted February 2013 that no matter which political party will win the election, they will have to declare default within 6 to 7 months. Why? Because Pakistan had already been declared macroeconomic unstable country. No surprise. Everybody knows your liabilities. Everybody knew that you have about $6 billion in State Bank. Everybody knew you have to pay 4.6 billion liabilities in the next 6 to 7 months. So it doesn't require rocket science to calculate what would be the melting point. So precisely when we came, State Bank at $6 billion, we won the elections as PMLN. We took the responsibility. But alhamdulillah, we worked hard. We didn't lost nations 1 year to get into IMF program. We took days and months. The cabinet oath was 7th of June. We presented the budget on 12th of June 2013. We signed the IMF agreement on 4th of July 2013. Then you have to move fast. So those two eras I have seen, and I'm sure that God willing, this difficult time will pass. The team, economic team, is doing their best. I'm trying to assist, to the best of my ability and knowledge of economy and the past experience. So I have a very firm faith that we would, inshallah, come out of this quagmire. It was deeper than before, and it was, I would say, much complex than the previous two experiences I had as Finance Minister of Pakistan in late 90s and early in 2013, 2017. So I believe that we have to work together to control the current inflationary pressures. They are unprecedented. We are improving. This team is trying to improve the supply of commodities. ECC of the Cabinet has approved a number of measures to improve agriculture production. We are basically an agri-economy. And introduce much needed structural reforms in the energy sector as well. Because without quoting the multilateral institutions, they say if Pakistan has to survive, inshallah Pakistan will survive. This is my iman. Power sector has to be structurally reformed and fixed. And let me endorse that the issue was and has been very grave. A country producing with a cost of 3,000 billion energy in Pakistan has only been recovering around 1,600 billions. You can't afford to lose 1,400 billions in energy sector. So I with my team, we have done our best. Power division has been on board. We have done our best that the gas sector regular flows should stop in the circular debt. So you see, these are the very painful reforms. Reforms are never easy. So we have been passing through in the last few months doing all this job, and it has been painful. But alhamdulillah, as I said, we have done most of the work, and I think we are alhamdulillah now in a position where we can move with confidence, we can move forward as a country, as a nation. The historic Kisan package, you may recall, was over 2,000 billion rupees. It was unprecedented, and I think it will go a long way in improving agricultural productivity. As late as yesterday, I and my team had meeting with the Fauji fertilizer bin Qasim, who produced the one and only project in the country who produced DAP in the country. You may have been reading the media reports. The farmers have not been, because of maybe their purchasing, power has gone so down. They have been using only urea that reduces your productivity, and they have not been using DAP, which is a little expensive. But we had a very historic discussion yesterday that the neighboring countries are now going the next step of producing the better and the more productive urea and the fertilizer in those countries, which produces 35 to 40% more per acre yield. So we have started work on that. God willing, inshallah, we will try to put this in order. Pakistan used to import the entire DAP from abroad, and I thanked Allah and I was happy when the visiting team reminded me that it's you who actually hand-holded us and helped us to trigger this DAP project in Pakistan in 1998, which started and completed and became in production in 2003. You see, you have to do work. Rest is with Allah Almighty. And this is my belief, this country has a lot of resilience. Those who spread, this, I would say, depression, I think they should have a faith. You have huge assets. You have, these minerals are hundreds of billions of dollars. Your debt is, those who say that debt trap ho gaye hai, I mean, what is your debt to GDP ratio? 73%. Right now, in the last few months, it has come down to 69. Because we have been paying our external debt without getting it back because of the rumors and the debt phobia spread all over in the world. So 73, when it took over when it left in 2017, it was 63% debt to GDP. When it came back, it was 73. Right now, it's 69. So 73 isn't something to worry. US is around over 110%. UK, after a pandemic, is over 100%. Japan is 257%. I haven't seen their politicians or pseudo-intellectuals coming on their televisions and blaming that the country is going to go, in a very serious problem. For heaven's sake, have a faith. Don't do petty politics with Pakistan. This is unfair. So Pakistan has the resilience to meet these challenges. They are there. I'm not saying that we are all hunky-dory and there's no problem. Yes, we are in a quagmire. It's misgovernance, it's ill-discipline, it's non-performance, and it's, I don't want to use the corruption. So you see, we have to just put our home right, and we are an economy which is very resilient. We have seen in 1998-99. There was a full effort to put Pakistan on knees so that it rolls back its nuclear capability. So if we as a nation, we work hard, we can come out of these problems. And I compliment the team who has been working with me in the last few months. And as I said, I'm a very optimistic person, and I have been demonstrating optimism not without any reason. It has proved to be right. The country which was macroeconomic unstable country in 2013, thanks to the team at that time which helped me, we reached to a point where you were projected to be part of G20 in 2030. We as a nation should have tried hard to reduce that timeline to 26, 27, it is doable. But the petty politics in this country have led to new ventures which have landed Pakistan in a serious trouble from 24th economy to 47th economy in 4 years. Let's learn a lesson. Let's be a patriotic Pakistani. And let's take our country forward. It has a future, inshallah. This is my belief, this is my faith, and I mean it. So at the end, I once again thank Tariq Bajwa Sahab, Secretary Sahab, all the team who have organized this seminar and this discussion. I'm sure will help a lot. The representatives of World Bank and ADP will be there, and your contributions would mean a lot for the upcoming budget. So I thank you for your patient hearing. I wish you all the best, a pleasant day, and a very enjoyable discussion, the whole day, which I'm sure will help Pakistan in charting out, the necessary reforms which we should be introducing in the forthcoming budget for the fiscal year 2023-24. God bless you all. Thank you very much, Pakistan.